For Fire Mountain Gems, they're a larger site that we worked with, working through their migration to a new platform, Salesforce generated platform. And what we did with them was look through the migration process of, what was the old site look like and what is it transitioning to the new site. And this is a pretty massive site. They had over 200,000 URLs on the old site. So it was a lot to work through. It took a couple of days for us to crawl the site and get all the data that we needed, but we're able to pull all that data down. And then for them, what we did was wanted to prioritize things a little bit more because the site was so massive. So we picked out 20,000 URLs to focus our priority on. And we categorized them into priorities 1 through 5. And to do that, we pulled the URLs from the site and then pulled data from Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and Ahrefs to just identify what those pages are and how important they are. Pulling down session data, also pulling down revenue and what was converting on the site. And then also looking at visibility. So what had high number of impressions, what was the average position of those, and then what also had backlinks. So using that Ahrefs data to see the number of total backlinks and how many referring domains, and categorize them into priorities. So that way we could identify when we went to the new site and made that transition, what were the most important URLs? What did we make sure needed to come over and was in a similar state as we could get it, so that way we can maintain that traffic that we had from the old site onto the new site. So in doing that, we accomplished a lot and we're able to find some specific issues, which I can show you a little bit about. So one of the issues we identified was from the old site, the URLs that we were working with were a little bit flatter, where they didn't have URL structures or anything like that. So this is an example of a gold-filled beads page that we looked at. It had gold-filled and beads in the URL. And what we wanted to do was transition that to the new site and make sure we were able to get a 301 redirect to its new home. And the new site built things out a little bit differently, including URL folder paths, and then also refinements to different products, including color, size, material, all of those different things. So we wanted to make sure that those URLs were transferred over correctly and help the team map them to the new URLs. So you can see here, using our tool, we can show the 301 redirect from the old URL showing gold-filled beads, had a 301 redirect one-to-one to the metal beads section with a refinement of gold-filled beads. So we're able to transition that over. And when we look at Google Search Console, this is a look at how that transition went through. So this dotted line here is the old URL looking at the gold-filled beads. And as it transitioned, we launched here in April and moved to the new URL, which is in this solid line here, showing that it transitioned and no longer indexes the old URL and understands the 301 redirect, moving over to the new URL and continuing to rank for similar keywords and also looking to expand it in the future with future optimizations there. Another thing we had to consider with this URL setup, considering the refinements, was that these URLs could build out indefinitely. So when we look at, these URLs and start from, the main page, as we add in different material types and different things that go along with these different beads, it adds in a number of different refinements. So you can see here that we added in amethyst and also added in a color, a grade, a size, a whole bunch of different things. And what that does is continue to build out these refinements and continues to add on, and we can get into 4 and 5 different refinements on here. So the issue we identified there is that for every bead type, these could build out indefinitely and have a whole list of new pages that they've never seen before and can create some issues with crawl budget and managing that. So what we wanted to do was work with the team to identify how can we control this a little bit more and do this at a scale, because there's a lot of URLs that we would be looking at. So using our priority list, we identified that all of our priority pages fell within 2 refinements. So it would be the main page and then either a color or a material type or a size was something that we identified as priority. And then anything that was beyond that didn't fall within our priority list. So we utilized the robot.txt file to add in a disallow, so that way anything that had 3 or more refinements, Google was not able to crawl or access. So that way we're able to control the number of pages on the site that Google's able to see, and they don't spend their time on these extra refinements that weren't previously driving traffic for the site. This could be an opportunity in the future to review and find some maybe deeper refinement pages that could drive traffic. But our goal here was to transition the site from the old site to the new site and try to retain as much traffic as possible. And due to the large size of the site, we wanted to focus on what those priority URLs were and how do we maintain that those were carried over and are able to still be successful.